Ethereum's depressing decline. Sentiment is in the gutter right now for Ethereum. People are starting to question, should I sell my Ethereum for Solana? Is it all over? Well, I've got some thoughts to share on that with you in today's video, looking at why people are feeling so pessimistic on Ethereum and the future, of course, for Ethereum. So let's go ahead and get straight into this topic. And by the way, I hold Ethereum. So when you hear any criticisms, know that that is coming from somebody whose second biggest cryptocurrency investment, which makes up 20% of my cryptocurrency portfolio, is in ETH. Okay. Okay. So the price action for Ethereum 100% has been lame as heck. I mean, come on, look, Bitcoin right now, 14% under its all-time high of 74K, by the way. It actually made a new high this cycle. Come on. BNB, 23% under Tron. Frickin' Tron, man. Tron, only 30% under previous highs. Way ahead of Ethereum. Solana, 40%. Ethereum, 45% away from previous highs, which happened in 2021, by the way. Yeah, anyway, at least Vitalik posted a meme the other day with a picture of a cow wearing a placard saying Ethereum is good. So we got that going for us, right? Ethereum to the moon. Look, the obvious underperformance of price has been pretty shocking, actually. And if you look at the ETF flows, I'm genuinely surprised at how just bad they have been. You can see on the screen now that Wall Street has not been buying. What's crazy is that at the same time that they're not buying Ethereum ETFs, they've been buying hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin ETFs. Wall Street loves the Bitcoin, not the Ethereum so much. Now, that's not to say that they won't. It's not to say they won't buy in the future, but the immediate aftermath of the ETH ETF has been very lackluster by comparison to Bitcoin. We've had lots of days where BlackRock just literally has bought zero Ethereum. Maybe they're waiting for the grayscale sell-off to largely conclude. We shall see. But not a lot of money flowing in. Price continues to underperform. ETF flows aren't saving us. People, I think, are feeling rather pessimistic on Ethereum overall. Now, not layer twos. That's a different conversation we're going to have in a few minutes. But the Ethereum main chain and the Ethereum asset itself, there's not that much hype for ETH right now. Oh, people are super excited about Solana. I mean, go to your timeline. Look at like how like genuinely excited people are about Solana, right? People made money on it. There's cool stuff to do over there. You're going to go and buy your meme coins and then buy some more meme coins and then I guess buy some more meme coins. But people are doing that over there, right? They're really excited about it. Even if they're all losing all their money all the time, they still keep showing up to the Solana casino, right? We haven't seen that kind of hype for Ethereum this cycle. Previous cycle, we saw some good hype for Ethereum, but Ethereum was broken last cycle in a dramatic way where you were paying $200 to make a swap on Uniswap. It was gross. We've talked extensively about the wild fee situation, and that has not been fixed, by the way. On the recent market sell-off, back around the yen carry trade crisis BS, right? The fees on Ethereum went from very, very cheap because not that many people are using the Ethereum main chain by comparison right now. And a lot of the traffic is being offloaded to layer twos, which is kind of positive, but also a bit parasitic. More on that in a few minutes again. But the fees went from, you know, pretty cheap, $1, $2, whatever, to like, oh my gosh, I had to try to close out a vault over on MakerDAO. And the gas fees were $600 for one transaction. You have to make multiple transactions to close out the vault. Yeah. When the shit gets going in the market, Ethereum immediately becomes unusable. It's not very retail friendly right now. It's too expensive to use. The devs are, I don't know, stuck in their ivory towers to some extent. And your average person coming to the space right now realizes there's simply better casinos elsewhere. Now, you have to then, of course, admit that like Pepe, for example, or other new contenders like Nairo, they're memes that are built on Ethereum. And look, there's a lot of money, crazy amounts of whale money on Ethereum, right? They don't care about the gas fees. They don't care about any of their stuff. They've got their games that they play there and they don't mind. But in terms of being retail friendly, onboarding normies, you're not going to onboard normies with that kind of experience, right? Plus, the big innovation this cycle has been like the restaking Ponzi's, right? Which are nowhere near as good as like the DeFi Ponzi's of 2020, right? Where you go farm crazy DeFi yields, and it was a good time. We had fun back then. Now it's like, okay, we're gonna farm some eigenlayer points for like years on end, hoping to get an airdrop at some point, and then I'm gonna like put my staked Ethereum, my liquid staking token for Ethereum back into a restaking protocol and loop it a whole bunch of times, and it's a house of cards. But that's for a bear market problem for us to worry about. But still, it's just not as exciting as, the meme coin casino over on Solana. So this is, look, some of that I agree with more than others, but this is kind of the sentiment right now for Ethereum. Okay. And again, I've got a giant bag of Ethereum. I'm not trying to fub my own bags. We're just trying to talk about where we are right now, sentiment wise, and what that could mean for Ethereum moving forward. Now, before we get into some of the other more positive points here, I'd just like to point out, in case you're not signed up to the newsletter yet, get signed up for the damn newsletter, man. It's awesome. You'll love it. 140,000 plus weekly readers love it. And I'm sure you will too. And here's why. Because every single issue, my team and I are working hard to bring you the latest and the best happening in the cryptocurrency space. Meme coins, altcoins, charts, DeFi tutorials, and much, much more. A lot of cool stuff going on. So if you want to start getting that straight to your inbox, super easy. It's free. Link down below in the description. Check it out. Thank you very much. So all that stuff being said, just, took a big old fat dump on Ethereum there, lit it on fire. Look, the flip side of the coin, that was side number one, the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that Ethereum is wildly successful, okay? That it is the industry standard for smart layer contract stuff, right? Everybody has built bridges to Ethereum because that's where all the big liquidity is. The Ethereum virtual machine standard is ubiquitous across the space, except for big outliers like Solana, right? A lot of your favorite chains are built on an EVM standard or have in some way implemented EVM compatibility so they can tap into Ethereum's liquidity. Ethereum remains an absolute behemoth of a chain in terms of daily active users, daily total transactions, stablecoin transfer volumes, total value locked in DeFi, applications built on it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it doesn't remove the scaling problems and stuff like that. And look, the roadmap for Ethereum, it's going to take years to play out, okay? And at some point, we are going to get a better Ethereum main chain. We're going to see key upgrades coming, like WebAssembly is going to come, and that's going to allow for lighter applications on chain, for example. And yeah, at some point, we'll actually get main chain scaling, but the push has been to do layer 2 scaling, which can be problematic sometimes, but more on that in a second. It's a pro and a con layer 2. DeFi, of course, has had its home on Ethereum, MakerDAO, Aave, Curve Finance, all this stuff. It all started off on Ethereum, but now all that stuff's multi-chain because they're going where the users are, which is not all on Ethereum. They're going to Base, they're going to Linea, they're going to ZK Sync, they're going to Arbitrum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the bonus here is that all those layer 2s, with the exceptions of some layer 2s like Mantle, for example, which uses the MNT token as gas, all the big layer 2s like Base and Linea, they require you to have Ethereum to pay for fees. Okay, so that's creating continual demand for ETH. And big buyers are still buying. Look at this chart here. We've had huge buys over the past few days. Exchange balances as well. Check this chart out. Exchange balances continue to fall because there's more and more demand all the time for ETH on chain. 1 in 3 Ethereum's locked in the staking contract. So there's a lot of positives here. Okay. And then we got to talk about the big picture with layer 2s, because layer 2s, it's really a mixed bag, because on the one hand, layer 2s are wildly successful. They've allowed for massive Ethereum scaling through things like Coinbase's Base. All the most popular apps like Aave are available over there. More and more people are choosing not to go onto Ethereum at all and completely skipping that process and just deploying their coins on Base. Uniswap's on Base, Aave's on Base. All these big things are on Base or Linea or ZK Sync or Arbitrum or Optimism or one of the other 30 layer 2s. The layer 2s have also been a bit parasitic, right? So they're sucking all the users up there, and yeah, they're still creating demand for Ethereum, but they're not feeding the main chain, at least not very much anymore. And so they're being a bit perhaps extractive. They're keeping the fees, or a lot of the fees. They're very centralized by comparison to Ethereum. Ethereum is wildly decentralized. Can the same be said about your layer 2? In most cases, no. There's a lot of things that we could be doing better there, let's say. Layer 1, never scaled. It will at some point in the future, but we're talking years. And that's a big fail for Ethereum because one of the big value propositions for Solana, you don't have to go to a layer 2. You can just keep all your money right here on layer 1 and do whatever you want and build whatever you want. And yeah, I know it's got centralization issues and stuff as well. Not as bad as many of the layer 2s. It's, shades of gray conversation. I know there's decentralization maxis, whoever's not like 100% decentralized, that it's nothing, but then that's almost nothing in the space. So there's that to consider. Look, layer 2s are great. I use them all the time. I rarely use Ethereum layer 1 right now. And it's part of the problem, but it's also a symptom of success. The layer 2s are great. Why would you use layer 1? But it also creates a situation where liquidity gets fragmented across all these different chains and all these different protocols, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So look, I can understand right now, Ethereum is like this guy like Vitalik right now. It's a sort of awkward teenager phase. I know Vitalik's not a teenager, but it's a sort of awkward phase is going through right now where in 2017, it had this very, very obvious use case, which was token sales. In 2020, in 2021, it had the DeFi thing, and that was all very exciting. People were building some other stuff, metaverse and gaming and whatever, and that had its own little moments. But now here we are in 2024, and what's getting you excited about the Ethereum main chain? We're gonna restake, man. I restake. I've restaked. Sure, I farmed some points, whatever, but it's not enough, right? And yeah, you can say the big story of 2024 is the runaway wild success of Ethereum layer 2s. Completely valid point. But they are fragmenting the Ethereum ecosystem with liquidity again spread out across multiple places, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And look, this so-called narrative problem we have going on with Ethereum right now, it's not going to last forever by any means. So just think about this. We had Sony recently announce an Ethereum layer 2. They didn't go and build on another blockchain. They didn't go and build their own blockchain. They said, hey, you know what? Ethereum tech is so great, we're just going to build our own layer 2 on top of that. How long until more big companies catch on to that and start doing that? My guess is not that long that we're going to see more and more companies getting on board. And if Ethereum is the home to hundreds of layer 2s launched by major corporations and stuff like that, value flows back to ETH. And the fundamentals for Ethereum remain very, very strong. You have to understand, this is an asset that has an Ethereum ETF. It will at some point get staking added to it, that there is good yield to be had from holding and staking this asset, that the new issuance of coins is at max 0.6%, assuming zero burn at all. There is often burn, so it's usually lower than that. Sometimes it's negative. Okay. So as an asset, the fundamentals of Ethereum remain very, very strong. So there's a lot of things working in favor for ETH here. And look, so long as Ethereum can remain the main layer, right? The main layer. And I know there's upgrades and roadmap and all this stuff, but as long as the main layer can remain neutral, right? It doesn't matter what happens to layer 2s. They're varying levels of decentralization and all that kind of stuff. It all is actually just the net benefit, even though sometimes has a slightly parasitic, maybe we can say symbiotic sometimes relationship with Ethereum. But as long as that layer 1 remains highly decentralized, which it is, then it serves as a great global financial settlement network. Okay? It has strong neutrality, which in a world of increasing censorship is very powerful and important. Again, final thoughts. I've got a huge bag of ETH, okay? And I recognize its shortcomings this cycle. It has underperformed. The ETH SOL ratio, the ETH BTC ratios is underperforming all versus all that. But my guess, as a hopeful Ethereum bag holder here, is that ETH will have a hated rally at some point. At some point, BlackRock switches on, the button there, and they start massive inflows into ETH through the ETFs. That continued layer 2 success, even though to an extent parasitic, will also have a virtuous benefit in creating massive demand for the Ethereum asset in base DeFi and linear DeFi and to pay for fees and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, the restaking Ponzi, it's a big thing, but more ETH will flow into that as well. So there's a lot of different ways that ETH has that it can be bullish right now. And I know it's not the sexiest coin this cycle, but when that rally comes, it's going to be a hated rally because so many people will be sidelined from ETH. That's not to say it's the one that's going to make the most amount of money, but it will have a great rally at some point. And sentiment right now for Ethereum, the fact that these kind of conversations are being had online again, not everything here is fully representative of my own views, but definitely what I'm seeing online. Sentiment probably near a bottom right now. And when ETH starts moving, it's probably going to leave a lot of the haters in the dust, and all the ETH maxis get to go and do their victory laps, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, as well, as I've said many, many times before, this cycle, I'm probably going to completely cut my Ethereum bags. I plan on holding no ETH into the next bear market. So I'll probably take some profits around a retest of the previous highs, and then hopefully sell the rest at higher prices later on in the cycle. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Not to say I won't rebuy ETH later. I'm not like an ETH bear at this point. But again, you can understand some of the criticisms that are being levered against ETH right now. Let me know if you agree with any of this. Is Solana the new paradigm of money? Is ETH just, too slow, old hat at this point? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.